It's the Gas Panic, and everybody knows on BBC introducing in Manchester.
The Gas Panic demonstrate a work ethic that is second to no other independent artists, and that will be their legacy.
It's probably about the best track you've played today.
It's like an interviewer's dream, this lad, I tell you.
You heard, like I'm never gonna ask someone. Hands up, you heard, how am I supposed to be someone? I bet you think my heart is cool. Keep on, you heard it first.
Okay, hello and welcome to the Gas Panic podcast. I am your host Josh, and I am the lead singer and guitarist of the Gas Panic. I am here today with Ian, the bassist of the Gas Panic. Say hello, Ian.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk about...
See what you're trying to do, but I got my eye in.
I timed that wrong. But today we are going to talk about the news. What's going on in the UK. It's not just Manchester. And we're going to give our comments on what we think about the news, I guess. But first, let's get a few things out of the way. Who are the Gas Panic? What are the Gas Panic? Why are the Gas Panic? So, first of all, we are a Manchester-based band that do not compromise. We do not do things by halves, and we do things on our own terms. Isn't that right?
I just do what you tell me to do.
Okay, and we are playing Blackthorn Festival on the 23rd of June, I think that is. Forgive me if that's wrong, but I'll correct that at a later time if it is. That should be a great festival. We've only played one gig so far, but I believe it was probably one of the best gigs that have ever happened.
It's the best gig I've ever done.
Yeah, and well...
The only as well. But it was good. We killed it.
Yeah, we did. We have been going about 6 months, and we have almost made 3 EPs, so they're available online if you want to have a look at them. If you don't, that's fine. But let's get straight to it, and let's go to this week's news. And the first story, to give a bit of a backstory, when did the Second World War start?
Right, you just dropped it on me there. My history's not too... The Second World War started...
1939.
No, 42.
No, 1939 to 1945, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not going to be a factually accurate podcast.
I just want the first question I've been asked to be right, at least.
So, let's get straight to it.
It's 1939. Britain is on the eve of war with Germany. Life in the average household is hands-on.
Except it isn't 1939. It's 2016. But for the last 10 years, Joanna Francis has chosen to live her life as if it's the start of World War II.
Why? Why would you make things so hard on yourself just through a fascination of the Second World War?
That's like the pinnacle of... My mum doesn't like to learn technology at all. Like, she hates... She doesn't like the computers, or she doesn't want to learn the internet. But this lady, she's just gone like, nope, I'm not learning anything new.
Well, because I had to research, or I say research, just look at all these things, and you find out that she does have one piece of technology.
A dildo. Because no man will come near her.
Oh, it gets into that as well. Her loneliness.
We'll get into that. But go on, what's the piece of technology? Or will we find that out?
We'll find that out.
Okay.
I think we'll go further on with that.
When you hear the sirens or anti-aircraft guns, you must get under cover at once. You must not stand staring up at the sky. That's the most dangerous.
In case you get a bomb to the face.
Yeah. That'll wreck that.
Yeah.
Bomb to the face.
I've always felt a pull towards this period, right from being a child, especially going to museums and things. I want to hang around in the room that was a 1930s or a 1940s room, as I am now, sit in that room and make it come to life. But they always felt empty and
no, it
cold
looks awful.
and dead. So I just want to make it alive and be able to feel it and hear it and smell it.
Her whole house...
That is an awful home. That is awful decor. That's a bad 1939 home.
Wasn't that, yeah, so she wants to live in a time where everyone was, like, had to ration food and basically borderline poverty.
Yeah.
And she's drawn to that.
Yeah, and then she wonders why she can't get a man to put up with that.
Well, we've not come to that part yet.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. We'll carry on.
I've
The
not
house
seen
has
this
been
yet.
converted back in time. The bathroom and kitchen has been ripped out and replaced with life as it was.
Yep, this was the bathroom. There was a big corner bath there with a jacuzzi and lovely like posh side units here with a toilet and the sink. Took it all out.
And then
Made it
shat
shit.
all over the walls.
So she's not got a bathroom. What does she use?
Well, she took out her jacuzzi
Yeah.
and just didn't replace it with anything.
Yeah, she just got a shit bed.
Yeah.
Like, were you with us when we went on the urban exploring with our friend Chris?
Oh, yeah, I was.
I know there was old, horrible beds, like down...
Yeah, we went underground to a what was it, a bomb shelter
it's something like that, like an old World War... Yeah, like a bomb shelter or something.
that hadn't been, obviously hadn't received any attendance for like, I guess, decades. And it looked better than this house. I would rather sleep underground
With the crackheads.
on those frame of a bed.
Yeah, they look like something out of Silent Hill. It was horrible. And that's the kind of bed she's got.
Yeah, you can tell that the interviewer as well is just like, I don't want to be here, you're weird.
That freeze frame that you've got it on now, you can just see him going like, poor lady.
Oh yeah, he's literally wincing at her furniture.
Put it back to a bedroom as it would have been. Probably a kid's room. This is my tin bath I have in front of the fire. I have hot panchins of water ready to put in and I dip my toe in and see if it's warm enough.
She always dresses authentically, washing her clothes with soap flakes or carbolic soap, and she's had a purpose-built outside toilet. As for sleeping, well, even here she has more than one option.
Why? Who? When would you ever need an air raid siren?
Is that what she does? She's just got one. She plays it and pretend bombs are dropping. and then legs it to the shelter.
I assume the news have put this in. She can't possibly do that. She can't. There would be no need to do this.
Every 9 p.m. she sounds a siren, legs it over to a bomb shelter, and just masturbates with a dildo.
What a strange, awful lady. But now you see her. She's going down, and she goes to her bunker.
March out into the open.
That wouldn't stop a bomb.
Down into the bomb-proof shelters built
No, you've
for
done
them.
it properly.
This is my Anderson shelter, keep me safe in the air raids. No house will be complete without it. I've even got my own ensuite.
Her only modern item is
Ew. So that's a bowl. I don't know whether the ensuite is the fact that she's put a hole in the chair, or whether the bowl just serves as an ensuite itself.
Whatever it is, it's definitely not an ensuite.
It doesn't look big enough to do more than 1 or 2 tries, really. I don't know if you're being bombarded by bombs.
And also, in an ensuite, like, I don't know what it's French for, but surely it means in the next room. She just had a bowl under a chair. So she's just living in a toilet.
It's hardly ensuite, is it, if it's directly underneath you? It's like if my toilet was underneath my bed. I've got an ensuite.
Her only modern item is a mobile phone that she needs for work, which has an air raid ringtone. And her only drawback is not being able to find a man to fit her lifestyle.
So she's gonna die alone.
Serves her right.
It is unfortunate, but who wants to cope with that? Like some people like, a bit of drama, and that isn't drama. That is like if your girlfriend suddenly developed a strange fascination for making quiche. That's what it's like.
Well, at least I could benefit from that. I'd have quiche every night. I'm like, oh, brilliant. I'd probably get sick of it after a bit.
But if then quiche became the environment you were surrounded with, she was like, I'm gonna have all quiche kind of decor and a quiche scented bed and pillow.
I wouldn't like that. Quiche scented, shaped like a quiche. That I wouldn't mind. That actually sounds kind of
Well, it's
comfy.
a rectangle, isn't it?
No, a quiche should be circle. So it'd be like one of those big, huge love beds. that,
What
like,
is a
rotate.
quiche?
Do you not know what a quiche is?
I know it's a food, and it begins with Q.
One of the only food in the world that begins with a Q, apart from quinoa. Oh, I just ruined my own thing there. It's a flan, a quiche Lorraine.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you want to get a quiche in a bit?
No.
In the house and they walk in and think, oh, blimey, she means it.
But one thing's for sure, Joanna won't be changing from how we used to live. Simon Spark, BBC News, Burton upon Stather.
Great stuff there. Great bit of reporting. So that's what we've found out today. That must have been a slow news day.
See, what she usually is just the equivalent of an old man who just stays at home.
Yeah.
There's probably like thousands of them, but most women don't tend to live like that.
She's like, I would rather meet the cat ladies. You know, the people that have a house full of cats.
Like Miss Havisham.
Yeah,
from Great
but not
Expectations.
like the hoarders. Have you ever seen
no.
the hoarders where the cats just die?
Yeah, that's sad.
But funnily enough, our next segment
Nice segue.
is about. No, I wasn't even trying to there. It just happened all by itself. But our next segment is about
Aw.
cats.
This is nice.
Do you want to hazard a guess at what this might be about?
Well, probably I can't read the title from here, so I can't cheat. But it probably won't be anything nice.
No.
It's just we've got a cute picture of a kitten on the screen at the moment.
Oh, no, it's nothing evil.
Okay, good. Family of kittens gets adopted by a dog.
Cats are being used now more and more in therapy and as company in retirement homes and so on. So I think it's essential that we learn more about how we communicate with our cats.
Is it?
I like the sound of this.
Well, I've heard it before, so I know what this goes on to.
Ellie mentioned food. Isn't 99% of the time a cat meowing at you because they want food?
Because they want our attention, yes. They want access to decide play somewhere else, or they want food, or they want to be petted or whatever. They want our attention. I think that's about 90% of the meowing.
So there's about 90% of the communication done.
Mm-hmm.
Food. So if we eliminate that, most of the time cats are gonna meow for food. But I guess the question really is, what is that other 10% of those meows? What do they mean?
Yeah. Now, you're going to look at cats in different locations as well. Just explain how you're going to go about doing all of this, Suzanne.
Cat in the kitchen, cat in the living room, cat upstairs. So what are you talking about? A different location. We flew this cat out to Germany, and we thought it might have a different meow, but it always wants food.
They have different accents, don't they?
What, cats?
Yeah.
What does a German cat sound like compared to an English cat?
Roar. Roar.
Suzanne.
Well, we're going to start by visiting cats in their homes and recording them.
We're going to visit cats, so cats, get ready.
I want this person's job. How the fuck did they blag their way into this job?
They're probably getting a grant for this as well. Like, we're going to visit cats in different locations in the house.
This sounds brilliant.
Recording them in various situations, during feeding time, during when they want to be let out into the garden, and we want the owner...
And that's pretty much it. I don't know what else a cat does in the day. It eats, and it wanders about, and then it sleeps. I wonder whether it meows differently when it sleeps, or it's about to sleep.
I think they purr.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
But we're not talking about purring, we're talking about meowing.
Yeah, we're only talking about
It's a
meowing.
very specific part.
Is to maybe brush them gently or pet them, and then perhaps brush them a bit more vigorously to see if they can annoy the cat to produce
Right, okay,
different
this is
sounds.
taking a turn for the worse.
So we're going to see if the cat meow is any different.
When we belt it over the head.
Yeah.
Row! Oh yeah, it's a bit different that.
Yeah. Okay, so we figured out maybe the difference between a hungry cat and an annoyed cat, but you would think that would just still be obvious visually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annoy the cat to produce different sounds and different melodies. And
Just imagine they've got all these cats lined up and they're just smacking them on the head like each one's got a different pitch. They're playing them like a piano.
This study must prove absolutely nothing.
Linguistic methods to analyze this variation and see if we can find any patterns related to the different situations. And if all cats have similar melodies in the same situations, or there may be differences according to breed, according to where the cat lives, what kind of human language is spoken around it, and so on. We don't know yet.
Do you think
we do know what human language is spoken
around
it? English.
I think it means that if like they're from a bad family, you know, the parents are always swearing and effing and blinding, then the cat might develop like a bad personality.
Yeah, hang around the bookies and
Yeah.
ask people for 20p's.
Yeah. I mean, how can humans influence cats? They can't.
Cats don't give a
End
shit.
of study.
might find that cats communicate in different ways to each other than they do towards humans? I mean, do they communicate through meows and purrs and such like to other cats?
Not as extensively as they meow to humans. Kittens do meow, but they tend to lose this particular vocalizations as they grow into adult cats. But I mean, I think you've heard cats howling and growling at each other in gardens during the mating season, and cats do hiss at each other. Cats who are friends, they greet each other with chirrs or chirrups or trills. So they do vocalize to each other as well.
And just explain in a nutshell, Suzanne, why are you doing this?
Good question. The best one that he's asked.
Yeah, definitely $1 million question. I can't wait to hear this.
Well, I think that if we can understand how we humans talk to cats, it will result in a better quality of life for the cats, of course.
She's
but
just
also,
made this up on the spot.
Yeah.
all the people...
She hasn't thought about the conclusion of her study. She just thought, wouldn't this be interesting if cats do something? In fact, no, she's probably not even thought, wouldn't this be interesting?
all the people working professionally with cats may benefit from this research as well, because
cats don't want to work with amateurs.
Very snobby, yeah. Very high
if
standards.
we put on our project website some indications of how to interpret these different melodies, veterinarians, people working in animal shelters and so on may consult our results and perhaps become better at communicating with their cats as well.
You think when a veterinarian is neutering a cat, they want to know what it's thinking?
Yeah.
They're going to call up whoever she is or visit their website and go, what is that cat meowing about?
She's just basically saying veterinarians don't know how to do their job effectively yet.
Yeah.
Like, there's still more you can learn. Like, you guys are not at your pinnacle yet. We need to learn exactly what the cat's saying.
Yeah, it's like, well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because if you're getting the cat neutered, it doesn't have a choice, does it? Like, you don't, if the cat's like, come on, like come on, don't do that.
Yeah, that'll make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, well, now I've got the guilt because, you know, Woody, she's told me how to talk to a cat. So just don't have the guilt. You're going to neuter it anyway. No point dealing with that drama. 90% of the time, cats are going to be hungry. 10% of the time, they're going to be annoyed. If you're a dick with them, apparently. Is that the only things they did? It went, right, all the time they're hungry. What about if we just annoy it?
Yeah, if we stroke it dead hard.
Yeah, and then the cat's like, meow. It's like, well, result number 2.
Eureka!
Yeah.
I think they just blagged a load of money, stuck it
Yeah.
in their back pocket, and then they've had to do all this bullshit just to like prove what they're doing.
Yeah. I have no idea where that got played. Obviously somewhere on the BBC, but congratulations for that. What is our next story? Oh, I know what this is. What do you think is a common trope of Malaysian people?
Where's Malaysia? Is Malaysia a place? I'm not a learned man.
It's in Asia.
Okay. They're probably Asian.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's most likely.
How specific do we need to go?
What is, like... No, I'm not doing this any justice whatsoever. Let's just play it.
Okay.
Now this is a hawker centre, a typical eating place for many people here in Malaysia. On offer is a range of cuisines from Indian, Chinese and Malaysian. Let's take a look at what's for sale here. This can give us some clues about what's behind
I would have
this
guessed kind of
rise
like
in
Thai,
obesity.
which is what it looks like.
So what else do you have on offer here?
The name this food curry puff, chicken nugget, fish roll, vegetable roll,
Can you hear that buzzing?
leko,
I don't know what that's
and
from.
banana fry.
Now the most popular dish here is the curry puffs, but the one ingredient that's common to all of these foods is that they're fried. Here are some more traditional foods, lemak fish and mutton curry. Now these are central to Malaysian cultural identity, but are people surprised that these traditional foods are making them fatter and putting them at risk of obesity?
I'm not surprised. Malaysia become fatter. They eat a lot of oil, fried, and coconut milk.
What do you think of Malaysian food? Do you think it's healthy?
It's definitely not healthy, but it's tasty. I see many people here become fatter and fatter, but they eat a lot, maybe perhaps, and don't do exercise.
There's nothing wrong with eating these foods in moderation, but overindulgence could be a meal ticket to an early grave. Doctors say the rise in obesity is causing health problems like diabetes. They're urging people to take
Look at that. For that shot, they couldn't even find someone who was overweight.
There was a couple, but like not more.
There was a couple, but yeah,
It's a bit
it's like,
chubby.
well, to me, it's like they're doing very well. I don't know whether very well is the word, but like, that's nothing compared to like America or
No,
some
no,
places over here. I think they're making a big deal out of nothing.
Yeah, Malaysia, innit?
They're known for that. That's one of the tropes.
Not much going on.
Full of drama over there.
a less sedentary lifestyle and get off the couch and out of the office and do more exercise.
Right, so was
Cheers.
That, was that for the BBC? So was that for an English audience?
I think that was. I think they had BBC Asia.
Oh,
so
okay,
I think that
okay.
was for over there.
But she was speaking English.
Oh, I don't know then.
Because I was just wondering what the audience, who's that for? Is that to like scare the UK into doing that? But we don't really eat that much Malaysian food.
Yeah, we don't. And
I didn't even know where Malaysia was. I still don't. Somewhere in Asia, near
I-
Thailand.
I don't think. I don't know who that's for.
No.
I think they vastly misjudged the audience there.
It's just like, look, here's some tasty food. If you eat junk food, you might get a bit overweight.
Yeah, and not even that much overweight if you live in Malaysia.
You might get a bit overweight.
Won't be that bad. You can work it off in a week. So I knew that one might not work. So I got another one about fat people.
The referral that's gone to Europe is really about, can I be classed as disabled, or should obesity be regarded as a disability of itself? And the reason it's of relevance for the UK and indeed other European jurisdictions is because the court is being asked to determine whether obesity automatically is a disability or whether there are other factors that you have to demonstrate to get the legal protection.
Greed. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know your thoughts. What do you think fatness is a disability?
Well, it can
Or
make
obesity.
It can make you disabled, can't
Of
you?
course it can.
When you see people in those chairs and stuff.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
the little
But
scooters.
sometimes you just rent them for fun.
The rascals. I'd rent one for fun. They look fun.
Yeah, but they know that you were renting one for fun. Like, is it like obviously you couldn't rent one for fun, but like
That's
they might rent one for fun and say I can't walk, and really they can. It's just lazy.
Mm. Well, they shouldn't do that.
But yeah, no, I agree that obesity can I guess stop you from walking and doing other things, but it's not. I don't want to call it a disability. It's just like well, stop it.
When does it become a disability?
When you can't move.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that.
You are literally disabled. You're not able to
Yeah,
walk.
exactly.
but if you can still waddle around, what happens if it causes you like great pain and stuff?
What do you mean, as in to like walk and stuff,
Yeah,
or
like-
just emotionally?
Well, no, fuck the emotion part. No, like to walk. Because even though they can walk, they're still because they're so overweight.
Well, I think if they're in that position where it's painful, I think at that point, that's where people need to step in, like to kind of intercept. You're there on you're tipping towards the scale of being disabled. So you are literally making yourself disabled. If it's becoming painful to walk, then you should know that pleasure and pain, the balance is obviously tipped in pain. And so do something about it, surely. I know it's not that easy, and I'm coming from a really ignorant perspective, but what else is there to do? What else can you do with that?
It would depends on the person. What scenario are we talking about now? Just a random person who is because there's loads of stuff that is involved with that, like mental things as well.
Oh, yeah, of course,
There's people who generally it's usually it's a lot rarer than the other case, but people with like physical medical conditions where they just can't lose weight, it's like they've got really low metabolism, whatever it is. And then there's people who are psychologically addicted to food and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think exceptions should be made in all cases, but I think the vast majority of these are people who can lose weight and just choose not to. Which, again, it's me assuming, but I think that's a fair comment.
From me?
No, from me.
Oh.
I think my comment's fair.
Oh, okay. Mine's not.
I'm patting myself on the back.
Right, okay.
And it's based on European law that is the benchmark by which we then have to comply in terms of our own UK discrimination laws.
This has happened in the US as well, hasn't it? That cases when workers have been dismissed, these cases have been overturned, or employers have been accused of being discriminating against them because they're obese.
Yes.
Slightly different, but there is almost a trend, isn't there?
There is almost a trend. This is
See, in the workplace, I don't think it depends what they're being discriminated against for. If they are, say, I don't know, think of a job. If they can no longer if they can no longer bend down because of their weight, and they work in a shop where they have to clean the floors,
They
then
do not get a mop.
well, you know, maybe. Well, you know what I mean. That you're going for
yeah.
a job, something like that, and then they can no longer do that job because of their weight. Then I don't think it's discrimination when you go. You cannot do the role any longer. So, bye.
I guess there's a good point, because same with other disabilities as well, like people who can't walk and stuff, and if the place isn't safe to be wheelchair accessible, like a warehouse or something like that, or lifting heavy loads, obviously there comes a point where it's not it is discrimination, but it's for the benefit of everyone involved.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because if they kept that member of staff on, they would have really dirty floors. Or they just have to employ someone else to do that job as well, and then they'd feel bad.
It's really weird, because it's like someone employing me as a security guard, a 5'5" guy. Like, no, everyone's just going to be in danger. You're not going to be able to stop anyone. That's just a really bad idea.
Yeah.
So I think discrimination in some points is kind of.
And I don't know whether, by definition, does it still count as discrimination if it's for a valid reason, because it isn't discrimination doing something against someone for an invalid reason or something that seems immoral.
I don't know. We should probably research that.
Yeah, but
we won't.
anyway, you understand what it is we mean.
This is the first case that's gone to Europe on the issue. We have one reported case in the UK, but the complexity about it is there's a distinction between obesity itself being a disability, which is the question being asked at the moment in this case, as opposed to if obesity leads to a medical condition that has a long-term and substantial impact. It's already recognised that that cause and the consequential medical impact, so diabetes, for example, would be regarded as a disability. So it's really joining the pieces and saying, should the protection actually be earlier rather than waiting for the medical long-term impact and a more complicated test?
So, Dr. Rosemary, where does the medical profession sit in all this? Is a legal case about discrimination?
Yes, I think I would speak for the medical profession where I would say I think it would be extremely unhelpful to start classifying obesity in its own right as a disability. And I also think people who are genuinely, who I would regard as being genuinely disabled, would actually find this quite offensive. There are people who have disabilities such as multiple sclerosis who are paralysed. They are genuinely disabled. Certainly obesity can be debilitating, and if you're very, very large, yes, it can affect your functioning and functioning in the workplace. But I think we need to be honest here and say obesity can be treated. Now, a lot of the people there who are obese and say, oh, but I hardly eat a thing, doctor. I mean, I've had...
Liars! It's like you can't pull that trick, can you? I've not been eating anything, I've just been getting larger. Does that happen? She does have a point though when she says other people might find that insulting.
Well, I always hate it when one person speaks on the behalf of like the many.
Yeah.
To, like, ask them, especially because she's not disabled herself. She's like, oh, I know people who would be offended. Like, has she got an ask?
Oh no, well, no, because I can see that. It's like I'll try and think of an analogy off the top of my head just in case it does mess up. But that's the equivalent of nope, I can't think of an analogy.
There was that drummer from the band with one arm.
Oh yeah, he was there.
There you go. That might help.
I mean, he's probably nothing to do with this. But yeah, let's consider him, the guy from Def Leppard. Probably wouldn't be want to roped in. You know, if both of them drove to Sainsbury's and got out the car in a disabled parking area, and he got out with one arm, and then another person got out, and they were just big. Would he kick off? I mean, I guess that's a question for the drummer from Def Leppard, and if you are listening, I mean, feel free to get back to us and tell us whether you would indeed kick off in a Sainsbury's car park.
Right, okay, so what was the point we started with? So,
so is obesity a disease or an illness?
Oh yeah, I know that, but what did she say? So she said she knows some people that would be offended.
She would,
and it's not automatically. Oh yeah, and can you just eat? Can you get fat without eating?
Oh yeah, well she was saying, yeah, some of the people that come to us saying, look, I've not eaten a thing and I'm just getting bigger.
But on the other hand, there are plenty of people who said, oh, but I hardly eat a thing. And then they've looked at what they're eating, they've looked at their activity levels.
And realised they are actually eating a thing. They're eating a lot of things.
They're eating everybody else's things.
And they have managed to lose weight. I've seen patients who've lost 20 stone. So I think rather than labelling it as a disability, we need to start saying, this is a problem. Yes, it can be debilitating, but we can do something about it. And I think we have to start being more positive and saying we can help and prevent this.
Fair play, I think she's right.
I don't know whether to class it as a disability or not straight away.
Why?
Because if it can debilitate someone, when's the cut-off point? Like, because you can just be chubby and not be disabled.
Oh yeah, but it's like
it's preventable. But at the same time, there's so many things that go with it. I thought we were just going to look at crap news.
Well,
this is like a serious topic. Or did you want to laugh at fat people?
No, no. I thought we'll do a mix, like, because it's hard. Because the news do try and talk about serious subjects. So I thought, why don't we try and talk about some serious subjects?
Ah, terrible idea.
That's the only bit in it, though. There's one tiny bit more about obesity, and then we go back onto the fun stuff. So it's just, this is for the people that thought that this was going to be a genuine news show, which is no one. No one thought that.
Most people just tune into the news.
Most people didn't know we were doing this. But yeah, right. So this is the last clip now about obesity. And it's about what these marketing students have done to, I think, raise awareness. And they create some really catchy slogans here. To help out on that.
Another cool line here, I like this. He's a
Let's
growing
just
man.
address. I don't think we need to say anything. I just wanted to pause the video there. We'll move on.
This is the next generation of marketeers. We asked these undergraduate advertising students at London College of Communication to tell us how they would approach the problem.
So we were aiming at the fast
Well, it
food
looks like
industry.
very biasedly.
What makes you say that?
Well, this rotund Ronald McDonald. Very evil looking as well. Not only is he rotund, but he's evil.
Yeah, I'd get that image.
Yeah. But you know.
So let me guess where this is going. Junk food is evil. We shouldn't give it to kids. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
that old
but,
thing.
But this is their slogan. Like, they took McDonald's slogan. They've not actually. They rather than doing the "we're loving it" or "I'm loving it," they decided to unabbreviate it to "we are loving it" too much. And I think for someone who is studying marketing in a university, I mean, I don't know the first thing about marketing, but wouldn't... Shit, isn't it?
It's pretty shit.
Yeah. It's not much you say.
It's like they found an image off Google and then thought, oh, look at that. That's what we want to say. And
Yeah.
we're not going to actually pay anyone to make the thing ourselves. And then put the text up at the top, but it's misaligned. It's too high at the top and just too small.
And it says, "We are loving it."
That was probably a copyright thing. They probably didn't want to get sued. Like, well, we're going to have to change it too much. Even though we've blatantly got a Ronald McDonald.
I know.
Given a rough brief and 2 hours to work on it, there was satire on the fast food industry.
If you have the fast food industry portrayed like
say
a threat,
satire,
it's
I
just
say
go
shit
there and have a
pun.
nice meal.
Or
But
slander.
if you actually see what kind of person you would be if you ended up, living that lifestyle.
Yeah, you don't know what you're
It feels
talking
like-
about, do you?
Yeah, that would affect me.
And then the voiceover will say, "Mums, if we keep."
And a bunch of catchy slogans.
We're loving it too much. Obesity is no... Try and get that slogan passed somewhere. Obesity is no excuse.
Didn't it have something else wrote below it as well? Like, they just
Um,
changed too quickly. They probably didn't want to hover on that one for too long. There we go. Let's change our attitude to fat.
What does that mean?
That's really bad phrasing. It's not like our attitude about fat, about the issues of fat. It's like, no, let's change our attitude to fat.
Yeah.
So my attitude is now overweight
So
as well.
are you for... Oh, wait, are they against it?
Obesity is no excuse. Yeah, so
Yeah.
obesity is bad, is what they're saying.
But are they blaming the people who are obese? Let's change our attitude to fat.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what that...
Maybe they're the bad eggs.
Obesity is no excuse. So it's like, oi. Like...
Let's stop being obese.
Like, I can't get through the door. No, obesity is no excuse. Like, oh, I fell over and I can't get up. No, obesity is no excuse. I don't get it. And let's change our attitude to fat.
Yeah, I think... Well, that's another bad one.
Yeah. And I like the way they've used, like, the politically correct term, obesity, and then they've just at the end just gone, fat. Right, I don't know what they're doing. They spent 6 months
The
on that.
time is now. That was the evolutionary table, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But just if they were fat.
See, they fucked that up. I've seen this. It's so overused, this evolutionary. Everyone knows what I mean, like the Darwin table.
Yeah.
You start off as like a little spawn, you turn into a monkey, and like, yeah, everyone's seen it. But instead of doing that, instead of having the evolution going on, and then Joe, the end one, like the now time would be like a fat person saying, "Look what we've become."
Yeah.
They've just drawn an image behind the original.
Yeah. So it's like...
I don't... So what are they saying?
Yeah. So there's normal people and then there's obese people. Yeah.
But it's always been that way, is what they're saying.
Oh yeah, I guess they are. So nothing's changed in millions of years. Obesity is an epidemic.
These marketing students are shit. They are really, really bad.
Yeah, this is newsworthy though, apparently.
But they've all got fucking top jobs now as well.
Anti-obesity campaigners are though wary of going too far too fast and alienating the public with shock tactics.
We've got to learn the lessons from the other hard-hitting campaigns, and we've got to have them in reserve to go and use them. But to start off with those campaigns, I think the public is not yet ready for it.
You know how it is. You settle down, put on a few kilos, but I'm not worried.
Fucking hell there, mate. Gotta break out my fucking Australian accent right now.
You didn't have to.
Australian adults is overweight.
For the moment then, at least, this kind of commercial is unlikely to make its way onto British TV screens.
Because
in
it's
30
about
years'
Australia.
time, the Australian approach to obesity might look like scaremongering, or it might look perceptive and far-sighted.
So there you go. That's the end of the obesity section that I had in mind. So we've got through the darkness.
Does that change your view on anything?
No, I think if anything, it just ingrained it even more with those bad marketing techniques, and well, it's pretty much that.
What about the advert at the end? The powerful Australian advert.
It's very powerful.
Is the only reason you included that so you could do your accent?
Oh no, I wasn't even thinking about that at the same time. But yeah, that worked out, didn't it? Fucking hell! Straight back on the accent there, mate.
Right.
Anyway, out of context, the next section is about. Okay, so we're gonna go straight across now to Dudley, wherever that is, where we're gonna talk about the latest tourist attraction that people aren't too happy with in Dudley.
The Dudley Eye.
I don't think it's the worst, but it could have been better, like put in a better place. There's nothing to see in Dudley. Really.
Anywhere but Dudley. I love how like people are like, this is the worst thing, worst place to put a tourist attraction, and so if you knock that down, Dudley no longer have anything. They're
No,
just like, no, take it down.
It looks like a nothing town. Also, out of all the things in the world to be annoyed at, why a massive Ferris wheel? Of all the things that piss you off, just go fucking.
And the problem isn't that the Ferris wheel is an eyesore; it's that Dudley is an eyesore while you're on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, it reveals everything here. Like, don't make us take an outside perspective on Dudley.
But the thing about this, that obviously they're giving someone who's not too impressed with the Ferris wheel, but then they give then obviously they have to give the fair opinion.
Yeah,
of the
get
other
both
people
sides.
It looks quite impressive, like all the ones you see around the country. I'd definitely go on it any day.
Bet you would.
Any day. I've not yet.
Yeah.
But I will do.
Yeah, it's a Ferris wheel. It's like you ever see Bruce Almighty?
Yeah.
Where he had to be that news reporter that reports on terribly boring stuff. I imagine the reporter for this just like, I don't even want to show my face on this one. We'll just get a few vox pops of people that don't matter talking about a Ferris wheel in Dudley. Reporting back live from Dudley.
Yeah, he's done something to piss the producer off.
Yeah.
Go, right, fucking Johnson, whatever his name is.
We're at the Dudley Eye. I bet no one calls it the Dudley Eye. Everyone's just like, no, it's a prominent noun. It's it's a Ferris wheel in Dudley.
Yeah.
It's not the Dudley Eye.
The Dudley Eye just sounds gross as well.
The
It sounds
shameful eye of Dudley.
Yeah. It sounds like a weird name for an arsehole or something.
Where is Dudley?
Don't know.
It sounds like, I'm judging by the girl's accent, and forgive me that I don't know my geography very well, it sounds like it's near Birmingham. Dudley?
I was going to say up north, like Yorkshire. I can't do a Yorkshire accent.
Let's go back to her accent.
I don't think it's the worst, but it could have been better, like put in a better place. There's nothing to see in Dudley.
Yeah, I can see that. Right.
All right then. Okay, I thought, seeing as though there's not been much education in this podcast, I thought we'll try and teach people a new thing today. And we'll go all the way back to 60 million years ago, when the dinosaurs were here.
This wasn't all on the same day, these news stories, was they?
Not on the
Just like a
same day,
selection,
same
good.
week.
Wow, slow news week, okay.
Yeah. Well, there was other stuff. There was a load of paedophiles as well in the news, but I thought, let's not get...
That's boring now. Everyone...
Everyone's been a paedophile now. It's old hat.
Yeah. Get with the times, BBC.
Okay, so instead of reporting on paedophiles, I say reporting, as if we're giving genuine information or a service to people. Critique. It's not even that. It's not even an informed opinion. So, yeah, just talking. Instead of talking about paedophiles, we're going to talk about dinosaurs.
Ooh.
And what we have inside are just two of the bits of it.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, of course. There you go. I mean, be careful. Of course, 90 million years old. There's only one of them. But, yeah. It's a totally new species of tyrannosaur that we have. It's called Timurlengia, and it comes from Uzbekistan, of all places. Maybe not a
Yeah,
place...
that's weird. I never expected dinosaurs to be around in Uzbekistan. That's sarcastic. It doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, right. No, it's under the ground.
Yeah, it's what is...
Well, the fossils would have been.
Yeah.
It's over time.
But it's like, would we be shocked if they were like, where do we expect to find these fossils? Paris.
Well, this guy probably just assumes everyone's like a geologist. He's like, Uzbekistan? Whoa. Now, if you said Moonstopistan, then I'd be all for it. But Uzbekistan, whoa. He's probably like an insight. He's not informed people why that would be weird.
Yeah, it's a joke amongst paleontologists.
That's the one, paleontologist.
Yeah.
So him and Ross from Friends are in hysterics.
Not a place you think of when you think of dinosaurs, but a really important place that has lots of fossils that are about 90 million years old. Before T-Rex, way back in the Jurassic period, tyrannosaurs weren't a whole lot bigger than me. And tyrannosaurs stayed that way, human size, dog size, a little bit bigger, until about this time.
See, that's the thing that I
years ago
thought
or
was
so,
quite
when they
interesting. That because when you think of a T-Rex, you always think of something that's about, 40, 50 foot high. I mean, I hardly ever think of a T-Rex, but when I do, sometimes I imagine I'm a T-Rex and I just bring my arms inwards and I just walk around and trod on remote controls and anything that's smaller than me.
I've never seen you do that, but I'll believe it. Is that what you do in your room?
No, I do it out here.
Oh, okay.
I just had to put my arms back out of my sleeves when you come in. We live together, by the way. It's not. He doesn't surprise me.
You
surprise visit from me. And I don't know why that's funny. Yeah, so T-Rexes have grown, and I think the thing is that they have not found many fossils that show the in-between period. So we have the 6 foot, 7 foot T-Rexes.
It's going back to obesity again, isn't it? Dinosaurs getting fat.
Well, see, that's the thing. They got bigger but remained lean. We could learn a thing or two from the dinosaurs.
What's your favourite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
Okay.
But my favourite name of a dinosaur would be the Diplodocus.
Yeah, it just sounds stupid.
Or Diplodocus.
I think I call it Diplodocus.
Yeah. I don't know which one's rare. Also, I'll tell you what, quick quiz. How do you spell pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl.
Oh, no way, you know it had a silent P.
Yeah.
Oh, I only found that out the other day. Anyway. Yeah, so they have not found this in between. They've got 7 foot T-Rexes and then they've got 30 or 40 foot T-Rexes. So this is the first fossil they've found where it's like an in-between one. I mean, they never say how tall it is, but I assume it's probably around... it's probably around like 20 foot. So they found this 20 foot T-Rex to bridge the gap. But then they show you the skeleton so they imagine the skeleton that it has.
Until about this
they've not found much of it at all.
90 million years ago or so, when they started to very suddenly get huge and become dominant and go right to the top of the food chain. So this is on the cusp of becoming a T-Rex.
So all those red marks there
are
the bones that they've found so far.
That could be anything. They just like old car parts and shit.
They found a 90 million year old dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all those pieces there, they've just got a bit of spine, which could be anything, a bit of like teeth.
To be fair, how do you find something that's 90 million years old and go, that is the spine of a T-Rex saw?
Yeah. I don't know.
And a different T-Rex, a tall T-Rex saw.
Well, how long's his tail? His tail's 1 meter. So yeah, he's a big one, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, what, 3 meters in length altogether? From tail to
Yeah, I mean, if that's
nose.
a to scale drawing, yeah, I would say about. Yeah,
Usually when
3
people
meters.
put in like meters, it's usually scales.
Yeah.
Unless they're just lying.
Yeah.
You've got like a meter.
Well, who
mark
knows?
there.
I mean, again, they've assumed the skeleton. So, but
Yeah.
then again, it's not really going to.
How did they know how long his tail is? They've only got one bit at the start near his
Yeah.
ass, one in the middle, and then one at the end. That could just be the entire tail. How
These
did they-
scientists are very presumptuous, aren't they?
Well, they also think now that dinosaurs had feathers and they weren't all scaly.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. All of them.
Yeah, well, majority of them.
All right. I mean, I don't know enough about that to go. You're wrong.
Good.
Do you?
I know enough to know that I'm right.
Well, which one do you believe?
That they had feathers?
Yeah. Well, scientists believe that.
I
It's not like
believe
you're
that.
picking the hard side to be on with.
The red sections of this image show you how you've jigsawed this together, what fossil evidence you actually have.
Yeah, this is like a puzzle. This is what we think the entire skeleton would have looked like. But importantly, we have lots of different parts of the skull. The fossil, I mean, it doesn't look like very much, just like a lump of bone, but because it's the bones that surround the brain, there's a whole lot of information in here that tells us about how this dinosaur would have thought, how it would have sensed the world. Now, we don't want to just cut it open, but what we can do is we can put it into a CT scanner, just like a medical CAT scanner that our doctors might use.
They put it in a CT scanner and go, there's no brain in here. So yeah, we know. We didn't think we'd find a 90 million year old brain.
Test inconclusive.
There's definitely no brain in here.
Really interesting about it is that its brain, which we can tell from the CAT scans that we've done of this bone, we can reconstruct the brain, we can see what the ear was like. It had a brain and an ear that were almost exactly the same as T-Rex. So it had all the central processing unit there, all the intelligence, all the keen senses of T-Rex, and maybe that's what allowed T-Rex to get so big. I think everybody on the planet has heard of T-Rex, the biggest predator to ever live, but we haven't really known a lot about how T-Rex got there. It kind of just enters the fossil record. And we don't know a whole lot about what it evolved from, about how it became so big and how it became so dominant. So this new fossil that we have, a totally new species of Tyrannosaur, a primitive relative of T-Rex, gives us some clues into that mystery.
Well, there you go. I guess there's nothing more to say really when.
That was just really cool.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah.
I'll watch a documentary now.
Yeah. So we'll be the first ones to break it to you. Unfortunately, well, on this podcast, Paul Daniels is dead. Debbie McGee's all right though.
Gonna like it. Not a lot, not a lot. If the ball's in my left hand, If it's not in my hand, it's under the cup.
He was fast, funny, and very skillful. He took old-fashioned magic and refashioned it for primetime television. He became a fixture in the Saturday night schedules. He'd started in northern clubs, combining magic with a chirpy, cheeky brand of comedy.
1, 2, out the way. You're not supposed to go 1, 2. So to be quick.
He devised a catchphrase to deal with hecklers.
Come on, you like this. Not a lot. Not a lot. As Maureen and Debbie and Bobby all go inside the tent, the tent is closed around.
Some of his illusions were staggering, like making an elephant disappear in the middle of a field.
And the elephant has disappeared.
Please welcome your host on Wipeout, Paul Daniels.
For 20 years, he was one of Britain's most popular entertainers. He hosted quiz shows.
Tune in. We'll be here next week with the odd one out. Welcome to Every Second Counts.
And later made guest appearances in programmes like Strictly Come Dancing.
2 hands reach for 12 at midnight.
Clouds of smoke. Got a lady wearing a nightie. Oh, sorry. I thought you were ready for bed, love.
He was almost as famous for his toupee and his glamorous assistant, Debbie McGee, half his age. They eventually married, which amused some people hugely.
But what first, Debbie, attracted you to the millionaire Paul Daniels?
Look how small I am.
But the couple seemed genuinely happy together.
So now this becomes the lounge.
Paul Daniels could be chippy, and some thought him smug. He fell out with BBC managers who dropped his show in the 1990s. But there was no doubting his popularity or his talent.
And that's Circus Magic.
And that's the end of this week's podcast, guys. It's been fun. We've taught you through some of the best bits of the news, and for all your news about the gas panic, please keep listening. If not, well, shame on you, I guess.
Keep on, you heard, like I'm never gonna ask someone. Hands up, you heard, how am I supposed to be someone? I bet you think my heart is cold. Keep on, you heard it.